I'm gonna post, and then let's just get started. It's about to be 8. We told people. Oh wait, that's.
And if we didn't get viewers until like 10,
It's probably gonna happen.
people are just used to it.
Yeah, they're used to. Yeah, they're not ready for it to start.
I'll be like Smiley in this picture.
Oh, you got a good one of me?
Yeah.
Right. All right, we're all plugged in, ready to go. It's 8 o'clock. You ready?
Ready.
All right, we're gonna get started in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
Audio's checking out. We can hear each other. It's doing
Don't
well.
shut it down halfway through.
Yeah, and then blame it on you and have you scramble the whole time. Well, it's Wednesday again. We're busy men this summer. I am working 7 days a week. Not a sob story, but we're doing Wednesdays, 8 p.m. here at 8 p.m. actually, instead of 8:10.
Check your time. We're started.
We're right there.
8:01 and
Yep.
we're already into things.
We're rolling. So catch us if you watch us live on YouTube and Twitch. Of course, we greatly appreciate it. Comment, say hello. And we'll be here every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. You don't have to worry about when the Wise Guys is coming on. And if you're listening to this on Apple, Spotify, whatever you listen to, we love you just as much. And just wait for it, probably around 10 o'clock every Wednesday. But we have some things to get into. And before we get into any sports, Chris, I need to bring up something to you because something was said on your Twitter.
Doing the coffee debate now.
That it kind of offended me. So,
okay.
You want to explain the tweet?
So the tweet. I'll give some context first. I was having a shitty day on Tuesday. Yes, it was yesterday, right? That I tweeted it?
Yeah.
So I'm dog sitting, and the dog that I'm dog sitting is a French bulldog, and she was sleeping in the room where I was working. Yeah, I think she has like separation anxiety. Followed me around all day, so she just slept where I worked. But French bulldogs, their face is all smushed in.
Yeah, it's really
sad. They
don't
breathe correctly.
No, not at all.
Like when they're breathing, it sounds like they're dying. She snores when she sleeps, and it was driving me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to do work, and then she farts also. So
she sounds like a French bulldog.
Yeah, right. So I had multiple meetings where I'm unmuted and talking, and there's just snoring in the back. I don't know if these people that I'm talking to can hear the snoring. Then eventually she just lets out a fart. I was like, this is awful. Like, this is wildly unprofessional on my end.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, should I say if you heard a fart, it was my dog, not me? Like,
no, that's not.
I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know I was just banking on the fact that the mic wasn't picking it up. So that was bothering me. And the first day was fine. Like Monday I did it and it was fine. And Tuesday, I don't know if I was just sick of the snoring. I don't do snoring. I can't sleep around people that snore. It drives me nuts.
Okay.
It's one of my pet peeves. I can't deal with it. So I was already a little annoyed. I don't know what, something else was bothering me probably. Then at 2 o'clock, I was like, all right, I'm gonna have another cup of coffee. And as soon as I took the first sip, I was like, okay, this isn't too bad. I feel good again.
Yeah.
And I finished it, and I was like, I am ready to finish out this day. And I did. So, the tweet was, after lunch, cup of coffee might be better than the morning cup.
I just thought that was egregious.
Well, are you a multiple cup a day guy?
So it's funny.
Because
Normally,
I used to be just one.
normally I'm not, but as you tweeted it, as I'm sitting in work, you know, of course on my, not actually doing work, but uh, I actually just poured myself a second cup of coffee, and it was an afternoon coffee, and it was so I just made it, and it was I saw your tweet. I was like, all right, that's like it's pretty outrageous, but I'm about to have this one. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's onto something. And it's just I in the middle of the day, I'm too impatient with the cup of coffee. I kept burning my tongue, kept burning my mouth, and I was not having it. But in the morning, you're waking up. You don't want to just like immediately wake up and chug something. So you let it sit for a little bit. Maybe like I take it in my car ride to work. By the time I get to work, it's nice and ready to drink. Um, so I was just like, this is blasphemy. There's no way you think that an afternoon cup of coffee is better than a morning one.
I will say the context of the tweet may have skewed my actual opinion. Um, One of my first takeaways from what you just said is that you also have a sensitive tongue like me. You probably have to wait like 15 to 20 minutes before you can even take a sip.
Yeah, especially if
Else
I have it
really
black.
ruin your day.
And especially because I normally drink it black and I normally don't put any creamer in it. So
I do
if
as well.
it's like that, like it normally is, then it's at least 20 minutes after it's poured that I'm drinking this coffee.
I don't know how people do it. Just I'll see people at work like go up, pour themselves a cup of coffee, and take a sip immediately. I'm like,
Are
have
they
you
like
just like
they're
fried your
Superman?
taste buds off?
Yeah, like
What's going on here? But anyway, I don't know if I agree with that because morning I cannot do anything without coffee. I'm just not productive at all. I need to have it.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
almost better for me in the afternoon to have it and like kind of sip on it for a little bit.
Kind of like
It's
a
not like
rejuvenation.
I don't need the full 12-ounce of coffee of caffeine to, like get my day started. I just need like a little like almost a reminder. Hey,
Yeah, yeah.
hey, still got work to do. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, got it.
That's
I
fair.
think that's how my body handles it.
Yeah, I think too, just like the morning coffee, the morning cup of joe, it's such like a staple, It's such
Hmm.
now it's becoming a staple, at least for me, where it's just like
That's why I tweeted it. I
whereas
wanted to
it was just
face debate a little bit.
all right, all right, I respect it. So you don't all right, coming out off the tweet, you don't actually think an afternoon cup of coffee is better though, right? Like how you feeling
Taste
now?
wise, no.
Yeah, Dave's taste wise.
I enjoy the morning one more.
Mm-hmm.
On the condition that I've had breakfast, because if I don't have breakfast and I drink it, then I'll get shaky.
Okay, yeah, fair. It's pretty normal. The I think the difference is if you put like creamer in it and stuff in the afternoon, I could see how that is better than maybe because like the black coffee in the afternoon too, it was just kind of like, oh, so and it worked. It worked. I was awake.
Hmm.
I was alive the rest of the day, but it definitely doesn't hit it doesn't have the same effect as in the morning, of course.
Yeah. Maybe it was just like the born again feeling. It's like, wow, like this
Felt
is
like a
something.
phoenix rising. There you go.
Even though I got that same feeling. And also, the other thing with the afternoon cup is you drink your cup in the morning, you have 8 hours in front of you of the day.
Hmm.
When you drink the cup in the afternoon, you have like 3 or 4. So it's like, it's a home stretch cup.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I get it.
Which I don't know if that makes it a better cup. It might just be the context of it.
And I guess you were having a rough day. I'm sure it helped. I'm sure it revived it, and I'm sure that played into some effect of the tweet. So there has to be some
That's why I
context.
said it was a very heavily like context based tweet.
All right, that's
It's
fair.
probably like it's day to day. I'd probably say 70% of days I like the morning cup better. At least 70%.
All right, all right. I you can really tell we're in the dog days of summer. We just spent 10 minutes talking about a cup of coffee. That's
Oh,
okay.
and we haven't even started the iced coffee thing.
Oh God, don't even give. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Why?
I don't know. I
Don't like it, or
no. I just think it has to be hot. Like it's not the same.
is that like a you're stuck in your ways thing, or is that like
It
you
could be.
actually don't like the taste?
Maybe I'm just a boomer and I don't want to. I don't want to try new things. But it also it took me a while to get around to coffee, and
Right.
then I just started drinking it straight black. Like I don't really like the creamer or
Mm.
anything.
Yeah.
So
We're men.
yeah.
That's what we do. We drink our coffee black.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. The iced coffee just seems. So do you have it black iced coffee? Like, how do you
Most of the
you make your
times,
own, or is it
yes.
just like Dunkin' or
So
Starbucks?
I did last year when I was lifeguarding. And that's why
Okay, that makes
first we
sense.
put out a poll that was like iced coffee, yes or no. And that's why I pressed you on the well, it depends. Because
Yeah,
when I'm gonna work outside for 9 hours and it's 90 degrees outside, I am not showing up to work with a boiling hot cup of coffee. That's not a way to start my day.
that's fair.
An iced coffee is okay.
Okay, that
Like
makes
I
sense.
have to have something. So
All right, that's
so
fair.
Starbucks cold brew, delicious.
And just black, no creamer or
Just
anything.
black.
All right.
I do like. I like cold brew and iced coffee with creamer much more than I like hot coffee with.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense. Like it's a little like I don't know, it's a little milkier, and you want the milker to be cold. So
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense.
I
So
do like the taste. If straight off taste, I hot coffee every time.
okay, all right. I gotta try an
We'll
iced
say that.
coffee. See if I'm just hating to hate, because that could be a very that could be a possibility.
Yeah.
But
If
all
I'm
right.
like walking around outside on a nice day, then I'd like a nice coffee. That's probably about the only scenario I prefer it though.
Okay.
The office is freezing cold too, so it works out.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm glad we got that settled. I'm glad we got that covered. We do have some
It's
little
like 10
things.
minutes. That felt like 30.
We got some things to cover. There's some NBA Summer League. We missed a couple big things, especially a big character in coming to the NBA world. His first action from overseas, Victor Wembanyama. Everyone knows the name. Everyone knows who he is. It seems like at this point. And the first game comes out. You know, it's on ESPN. It's a big deal. They're hyping it up, as they should. There's no. I know there was some complaints that I was
It's a little
getting.
bit ridiculous.
It is a little bit ridiculous, but you got to think about it from ESPN's perspective. They have nothing to lose. If Wembanyama sucks,
Right.
they just move on to the next prospect. That's cool, and
That's true.
yeah, it's the facts. And if they're not hyping him up, and he's incredible, then they're what's going like why weren't we hyping this guy up more? And I guess he's been hyped since what like 2 years ago.
It's 2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's funny because they always talk about the same stuff, like all these ESPN things. It's always the same things that we're hearing, and it's always the Wemby show. But it was cool to see him on a court with other NBA players.
They're NBA players.
Yeah, they're summer league NBA players.
Wearing the logo.
That's true. That's true. So the first game, not very good. 9 points. One for 2 for 13. But he had 8 rebounds. He had 5 blocks, 3 assists, and this is more of what we're gonna get his rookie year. I do not have any expectations. His I keep wanting to say freshman year, his rookie year, to offensive side of the ball, to be super efficient, to be this dominant player that just gets it. It doesn't make any sense for that to be realistic. But the rebounds and the blocks, that's what I'm more interested in, because looking to what he's actually going to do in this season of the NBA is he's going to do all that shit because he's tall and he's lengthy and you could tell by the guys who he was defending. It didn't matter if he was by the perimeter or into the paint. That every single player was it was aware of where he was on the court and was nervous whenever he was basically looking at them. So that stuff is going to translate no matter who he's playing against, no matter who, like if they're summer league teams or whatever. But the next game, all the doubters got it was funny. It was like that day, it was like everyone's like, oh, what if this Wemby kid's a bust? Like and he then comes back into Trailblazers. Sadly, we don't get to see him versus Scoot Henderson because Scoot,
Done, right?
yeah, he's done for the summer league. They shut him down. Wemby shut down too. So is Amen Thompson, Asur playing, I think right now, and he had an alley oop that was a reverse dunk. That was pretty sick. Both those kids look great. Wembanyama looked good in his second game. Shot it way better. Did terrible on the free throws though. 7 for 12. It'll be interesting to see if
does not look like a guy who has like a nice free throw stroke.
No, that's what I was just about to say. It'll be interesting to see because he's gonna get fouled a ton because every time he goes to the basket, someone's gonna be
guys
swatting
just hanging off of him.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see if he can figure out the free throws or if that's gonna be like a Giannis type of weakness that we find to him, where it's like, oh well, end of the game, hack Wemby, see what happens. I think, there's no reason to look at any of this summer league stuff, good or bad, for the top at least 10 picks. You shouldn't be worried about any of them. You shouldn't be really excited. Like, I mean, I guess you'd be excited if you're on your team and they're doing good stuff.
Well, remember when Kevin Knox was like the summer league MVP?
Yeah, and Trae Young was garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
of course it doesn't matter, but it's fun to talk about.
No, yeah, and it's as we just talked about coffee for 10 minutes, so we might as well talk about some basketball that comes over. So Wemby, 27 points in his next game, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks. Good game. He was a lot more aggressive. It seemed like he had a lot better of a feel of what was going on. He had a quote that is going to be memed a lot after the first game. Did you see that, where he was just like, I don't really know what
the Euro is more...
No, he was just like, I don't really know what I'm doing out there. I'm glad you mentioned the Euro quote, though, because he did say that the Euro League is more physical, which we've heard from Luka and other European stars. But come on, Wemby, you're playing a bunch of bums here right now. You think it's less physical now? Just wait until LeBron's barreling into your chest.
It might be more physical, but guys who are defending you and trying to score on you are way more athletic.
Yeah, and just bigger in general for the most part.
Right.
So
it might seem like it's more physical, but I don't know how to articulate what I'm thinking here. You know what I mean?
I know, yeah. So I think to try to put it into words is what you're saying is that, like, the guys who he's going to be facing, not in the summer league, are basic. I mean, they're the best of the best, no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter, and they're bigger, they're stronger. Yeah. So I think people understand what we're saying. But he is shut down for the rest of the summer league. I'm surprised he even played 2 games. Like, every time he jumped,
the NBA made
him play 2 games.
Yeah.
I think if that makes sense, because they probably wanted the Scoot. They didn't think Scoot was going to get injured, so they wanted the Scoot Wemby. And
even Brandon Miller.
Yeah, and Brandon Miller, who has become just the forgotten child of this draft already. And he had a good game last game. I think it was 20-something points. His most efficient game. And he hasn't looked
better
great.
than Wemby the night that they played.
Yes, yeah, he was better than Wemby the night that they played. But they were both pretty dog. That game was terrible. I remember, I watched the whole thing, and it was bad basketball. It was really bad. The coolest part, I think, about Wemby is just seeing him interact with his teammates, because he's just such an alien and so much bigger than all these guys. Like,
and they would cut to him sitting on the bench like every 5 seconds.
Oh yeah.
And the way it's like those pictures of new bowl.
Mhm.
He's on the bench and his legs like go up to his chin. He's just sitting there like this.
Yeah, they need a bigger chair for him.
Scary.
He needs like a Santa
You'd think
Claus
that he would
size
get
chair.
like an adjusted chair.
Yeah, he needs like a Santa Claus level chair for the bench. And
Throne.
throne, a Wemby throne. I'm surprised ESPN didn't gift him one. Doris Burke. You would have thought Doris Burke was dating him. Like that was like her man. He would miss a bunny right next to the rim, and Doris Burke would be like, "Well, he was in the right position. Like these are the things we're gonna see with Victor Wembanyama." And again, that's their jobs. That's what they're supposed to do. But
Yeah.
it was a bit much.
Right now, he's the greatest basketball player of all time until everyone decides that he's a bust, and then he's going to be the worst basketball player of all time. And there's going to be no in between.
So I know it's going to be funny if he's a bust, but it's not better for the league, right? Like
Of
we
course
want
not.
him, like we want this guy to be good. At least I do. Like
Yes.
watching him out there and watching the way he dribbles. First of all, the dribbling, he understands that he has the power to, do the spin moves, do the behind the across the legs, shit like that. But physically, he can't do it in the NBA. The ball takes too long
Yeah.
to dribble from his hand to the floor. So he's gonna have to figure out some of that. His picks were like, I don't know why anyone would fall for any sort of pick and pop or pick and roll with him, because he's not stopping a fly with that pick. He's not stopping an 8-year-old child from dribbling around.
Like a turnstile.
Yeah, like if some of these guys, it looks like they could just crawl under his legs and go beat the screen.
I wonder if we'll see that. A Pat Bev move.
No, Draymond
Dive under his legs.
Draymond drive under there.
Punch him in the nuts.
on the way over, like Superman. But it was a cool experience to see him. It wasn't all the times that anyone's seen him. It's been, you have to watch on the NBA app. It's at some random time, and it's versus a bunch of French people no one's ever heard of. So, it was. Oh, besides, that's his teammate though. I said against.
Fair.
So, some guys I wanted to shout out in the summer league. Of course, Jabari Smith, the number 3 pick from last year's NBA draft, fell to the Houston Rockets. He was supposed to go number 1. There was all that shit, and on draft day, lands with the Rockets at 3. He had a decent season. That team was in shambles. Like, that team kind of sucked. So, but he came out firing. Yeah, that team was terrible. He was firing on all cylinders this summer league so far. I think they shut him down. They shut him and Tari Eason down because both of them were balling. He was averaging 35 points in the summer league. And
he hit a buzzer beater too.
He hit a buzzer beater. That was the end of the Scoot Henderson game where I tweeted out that I was going to change the channel, and I did, and I missed that.
I saw.
But that was cool. He kind of torched our wise guy, the Wiseman. He talked shit to him too. He was like,
the Wiseman's playing in the summer league.
Yeah, it's not tough.
It's like
not
his 4th year.
It's really not good looks for us, and our wise guy. I'm still rooting for him. No, it's not. Yeah, it's not our fault. Still rooting for him.
Born into this.
Yeah, it's his parents' fault. Should change their last name.
Disappointing son. Did our best.
But yeah, him and Tari Eason look like they're the real deal. They look like they could be a real centerpiece to this Rockets team that we bashed for their free agency moves last episode. Like, really torched them.
Yeah, we were not nice.
No, we weren't nice at all. But it's a bright spot for them. Could be Jabari Smith.
Yeah, and that I will say to qualify what we said about the Rockets, I was in the vacuum of free agency, but team as a whole, like, you can't hate where they are in terms of having like all this young talent. Like, some of the guys have to pan out.
Yeah, I agree. And
it's not like you're paying Van Vliet and Dylan Brooks to like take you to the finals or anything. They're literally just there to get them over the salary cap and to be veteran leaders for these guys.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that is a smart move. Like it's a smart move to just try to be better because like they have all these picks going somewhere, I believe, and
They've already had the top picks in the draft, so it's not like you're tank. You don't need to.
yeah,
It's not like
there's
you
no
have
more
to tank
tanking.
to like get really good talent.
Yeah, it's time
They
to
have the
put some pieces
talent. They just
together.
have to develop it.
Yep,
Basically.
and I think, man, it was very sad to watch to see my guy Ime Udoka out there on the
Oh, I bet.
Rockets bench.
Keep forgetting that. It's gonna be funny. Like game 50 of the NBA when I start paying attention. Like, oh shit! Like I forgot Ime Udoka's the
Yeah,
coach
and the
of
Rockets are
Rockets.
like the 8th seed when you're game 50 in, and it's like I wonder why that happened. It's like maybe it's because they actually have a real coach now.
Yeah.
Man, but watching him like just I tweeted I hate keep bringing up tweets, but the just the picture of him, and it was like I miss my guy. I still don't condone what he did. It was against team policy, but that was a great coach, and I'm excited to see what he does with the Houston team. So other guys, Jaden Hardy, 24 points. He's looked good. He's got a great defensive side, 3.5 steals a game. He's looking good in his second year. Asar, I was just talking about earlier, had a good game. He's had a couple good games. It'll be interesting to see as we talked about on the draft day, where him and his brother are going to be interesting to compare them to, see how their rookie years go, and hopefully bring a little rivalry to two teams that have a pretty young core. Like we were just saying with the Rockets, they had all these top picks, and same with the Pistons. So it's time to start winning, time to start seeing them do something. This guy on Miami, Orlando Robinson, is averaging 25 points a game. He looks incredible out there. It's just like another guy that, of course, went undrafted. Miami just finds. I'm sure he'll be in the Dame Lillard trade to try to sweeten it. But of course, it's just like great. I know it's
Broke
summer
his
league.
name. You broke the rule.
What? Oh, Dame. Yeah,
Dame.
yeah. Let's not get into Dame. But it of course just like I know it's summer league too, but it's like great. They find this second year guy out of nowhere that that they're gonna make he's gonna be playing in the NBA Finals next year. All right.
At some point, that narrative is gonna get overblown, though. It's like every single guy who has a good game, they're gonna be like, "Oh, like of course, like this guy's on the Heat," and then they're gonna turn out to be nothing.
Yeah, I guess let's just see what happens in the regular season. See if he.
Jaime Jaquez, though.
Oh, Hami looks good. Yeah, Hami looks really good.
Remember when you said that you would rather you'd rather the Heat get Dame than have
I think I stand by it. I'm worried about
that, and then you're not the only one. I saw it on Twitter.
It's a couple Heat fans
saying like, "Would you include Jaime Jaquez in a trade for Dame?" And half of them said no.
He's that guy, man. He's that guy. No, I did say that pre-draft that I wanted him to go so far away from the Heat, and of course, right where he lands, and of course he looks good in the summer league. He's probably gonna be great. Like I'm just gonna accept it. My guy Gigi's had some up and down battles. He's had a 20-point game that was pretty good. It's whenever I watch him, like I try to look for him. I try to see him do some cool things, and just like in South Carolina, he's just standing in the corner. And it doesn't, and like he looks like he has a much better attitude. It doesn't look like he's pouting, but it's like you can't cut to the basket, Gigi. You're 6'11". Go cut to the basket, man. Get some plays going.
She's 6'11".
Maybe that was a little hyperbole. Gigi Jackson, 6'9".
He play like a guard though.
He can play like a guard. He needs to work on his ball handling though. He's a little lanky too, so it gets
like
in the way.
Celtic.
Oh yeah, he would have been a perfect Celtic. Speaking of the Celtics, this isn't even summer league because they haven't won a game. But I'm not looking forward to the Celtic season. I'm not, because I don't
First
understand.
off, it's July. And something else
Yeah.
to do and think about the
I
Celtics.
can't. I don't know.
Pats are coming up soon.
I am excited for
Mini
the
camp
Pats.
in like 2 weeks.
I'm really excited for the. There was a video of Mac Jones throwing a 70-yard bomb today, and
those are like heroin.
I need to get a new pair of pants after that. It was that good. I just don't understand the roster. I don't get it. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. And I'm sure it's gonna be fine, but well, like we haven't done anything besides Porzingis. Signed a bunch of other, like 2 other scrubs, and so now it's last year's team minus Smart with Porzingis, and I don't understand how that makes them better. Am I missing something? I mean, you're the Porzingis guy. Am I missing something?
Bit of a stretch. I don't know, because going off of what they said on Bill Simmons when I listened after the trade, the thinking was the team had like an identity crisis, that Smart was like still kind of the leader of the team, and it needed to be Tatum's team, I guess, and not disrespectful to Smart as a player because he gave them a lot, or to him as a leader because I'm sure he was a good leader for them, but it was just time for both sides to, well, I guess he didn't want to move on, but probably was best for both sides to move on at this point in his career and their rise to a real contender.
I agree with that. I
talent-wise, that makes them a better team. And I have the worry that you now have an identity crisis. Because, like, what is Porzingis giving you? In terms of
it's not.
or
I don't
leadership.
think it's like, I think the keys are handed over to Jason and Jalen, which should have been probably a long time ago. But like the Jaylen Brown extension's not done. I don't know why. I don't like. There's rumors about Dame. Like, is that happening? I don't know. Do I want it to happen? I don't know.
He won't play for you.
Yeah, sure. Just gonna sit the bench the whole year. For what? 4 years? He's gonna sit the bench. Fucking asshole. But
that would be so funny. I would do it as the Celtics just to see what would happen.
Just to see what happens.
They just make him sit on the bench.
I like
just bite him.
And as you said, I don't think it's an identity crisis. It's just I don't know how this team is better. And you're right. It's June. Or July. I gotta stop worrying about the Celtics.
June flew by the way.
Yeah, June just kind of happened.
That was crazy.
Yeah, June just did really
July.
But it just doesn't make any sense to me. We still need that big center that we haven't gotten. And now I guess Derek White's our point guard, which I'm okay with, but we need a backup one that's better than Peyton Pritchard and Brogdon.
He's another recency bias guy, is he not?
No, he had a great
season. He was banged up in the playoffs and he sucked.
Yes.
He was a valuable piece for you guys.
He was on the Clippers for 8 hours. Is that not just
gonna grown man? Well,
yeah, it's a grown man. It's the NBA. That type of shit is like the worst thing you could possibly do to a player. So I don't know. Yeah, then there's not going to become any answers from this, so I'm just going to move on. But I wanted to say that I am just kind of confused with the Celtics. I have faith in Brad. It seems like, and like we just kind of let Grant Williams go for second round picks. We're loading up on these second round picks for some odd reason. And like Brad Stevens said,
what's the Woj ratio? It's like 4 to 5 second round picks equals 1 first round pick.
Yeah. And Brad Stevens had a quote about that too. That came up after all these trades. He was like, it showed up, and like he was in some interview, and he was like, oh, second round picks, as a coach, you think are useless, but as a GM, like they're a hot commodity around the league for some reason. And I don't know. I don't know what that means. All I know is if Alex Caruso is on this roster the first day, I'm all in. That's all. That's what matters to me. But get the Jalen thing done, or trade him. At this point, I don't even care about the out. Like the team's already broken up. At this point, either trade him or extend him. Figure it out. And that was 5 seconds of Celtics, or 5 minutes of Celtics rambling. All right.
The Pats report in 13 days.
Yeah, that's gonna hit like cocaine. that's gonna be needed. That's gonna get me through the rest of the summer. So I'll be excited about the Pats. To move on, and since you mentioned football, we did get news today that Hard Knocks is officially the New York Jets.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, breaking it to you too. So the New York Jets are coming to Hard Knocks.
Just Rodgers.
Oh yeah. It is gonna be a Rodgers love fest. It's gonna be it's just gonna be an accumulation of all this Rodgers shit that we've had the past couple years into like almost like I guess it is a documentary. Into a documentary, and it's just gonna be all about him.
Just blowing him.
yeah,
I hope they
exactly.
suck this year now.
Oh
well,
no!
I'll wait till I watch the episodes, but I hope they suck.
I think it's the best pick. If it wasn't gonna be, I mean, I want him to go Washington. Yeah, I want him to go
Ownership
Washington.
stuff.
Yeah,
if there was a year to do it, it would be this year.
Yeah, that's true.
Suck, so like, might as well. Like, Ron might be on the way out soon. Ron's an entertaining guy too to have on there.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I'd be all in on Ron again though.
Oh, after Hard Knocks, yeah, definitely. He'd
remember
say
like all the All or Nothing clips from when he was in Carolina.
Yeah, he was incredible.
Talk about crack.
Yeah,
I'm like, I want to run through a brick wall for this guy.
So that's a good point. Besides Rodgers taking up a lot of the spotlight, I guess we'll see some Sauce Gardner, some Garrett Wilson, some Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
But what other?
Right, never mind. I kind of do want to see how Zach Wilson looks on here. This is his nightmare.
This really is.
This is worst case scenario for him.
Yep. It's because it's gonna be all about how he was the second overall pick. How they were terrible. They did all these. They tried and they couldn't put it together. Then they had to go get Rodgers. So it's gonna have it's good fair drama, and there's gonna be some characters coming out of this. I just hope it's not an all Rodgers story.
They usually do a good job of incorporating as many people as possible.
They do, but have they had a star like this? Like the last couple ones, it was like all about Dan Campbell and like the Lions growing and the Lions building, and then it was the Cowboys, and I guess they had some stars. You know, they had Dak and Zeke that people.
Dak is not.
No, he's not Rodgers. I'm not saying that. I'm saying media-wise he is.
Name.
Yeah, name-wise.
Thank you to the Antonio Brown.
Yes, Antonio Brown.
That.
Yeah, they did milk that, and they did a good job at that. I think showed how wild he was. All right, I'm in. I was on board when they announced it, but I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, you're right though. They haven't had. I guess that's why it's Hard Knocks. Cause it's not like you're.
Yeah, they never have good teams, so like they never have
be on.
Yeah, so they never have the star quarterback like this. So it'll be interesting. Today released also NFL stuff. The Netflix documentary about the quarterbacks.
Oh, quarterback.
Yeah.
You should do a review of that.
Oh, definitely. I think we should definitely do a review of that. I'm actually excited. I think the way that they formatted it is good because they have the league MVP, the Super Bowl champ. They had Kirk Cousins, who had his best season of his career, basically.
Interesting man on the field.
Yep. And then they had Marcus Mariota, who got cut on his birthday. So they have every level of.
I also want a Heisman.
Oh yeah, and I'm
Mariota.
not. Yeah, I know. I'm just talking about this year, the one that they cover in the Netflix. That they have every level of quarterback to work with, which I think is cool. Like it's not like they did.
It'd be cool if they had like real shitter on there. Peterman.
Yeah, they had some backup guy that everyone's
so funny.
Well, who was the worst?
Mariota's a backup guy now.
Yeah, but he started most of the year. Who was I guess the worst? I mean, Matt Ryan would have been hilarious. Colts Matt Ryan. That was this year, right? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it was this
all
year.
the
They got
NFL.
bench for Ellinger.
Yes, twice. Then he got brought back. Then he got benched again. The NFL years always just mend together the second the season ends, at least for me.
Hmm.
So it'll be nice to get a little reminder of some of these guys. And I
Yeah,
guess
that is true.
no reminder needed for Mahomes, but other than that,
Yeah, it's like, wait, who's this guy? Oh, yeah.
yeah, that guy was pretty good. I remember that.
If I'm just looking at like worst QBR in the NFL, Wentz was on there. That'd be hilarious.
Wentz would have been great. Wentz and Kirk would have just been too much white boy energy. That's way too much. All right. Well, there's nothing else going on with the NFL. We do have some MLB stuff to talk about, Chris. We got the All Star Game. We got let's do a little All Star break recap of the season so far. The home run derby happened, and then because it doesn't make any sense, the MLB draft right in the middle of all of it. So Chris, you take the
I'll
reins.
start with the draft to get that out of the way. The MLB draft is like, it's never that big of a deal. It just kind of happens in the middle of summer, and you almost forget that it happens.
Why do
I
they
don't know
do it
why.
in the middle?
I have no idea, honestly.
Okay.
I guess because our college season ends, and then they can jump right into playing like short season ball, like minor league ball. Right, yeah, that actually makes sense now that I say it out loud.
So none of these guys,
because the MLB season is so long compared to college baseball.
none of these guys are going to be playing in the MLB this year, right? Ever, like
No.
really ever? Yeah. Okay. So like even the top pick. That
Yeah.
like
Paul Skeens, I think, was the top pick.
yeah, I think LSU went 1 and 2, right?
I don't know. I only know Skeens and even know who the Phillies took. High school guy.
Wasn't like I saw DJ Ungalangale was drafted.
I saw that too in the 20th round.
And
that would be hilarious. He was like, you know what? This football thing's actually not really working out for me.
It really isn't. He might have to go. Like,
he's at Clemson. Like, if he went
now he's at
somewhere with a little less expectations.
He's at Oregon State now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he transferred.
That. Where have I been?
I don't know. Under a rock, it looks like. So,
well, I did see he got drafted. I had no idea that he was at Oregon State. That's a good spot for him.
Am I nuts, or did I get sacked? Was a 13-year-old drafted?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right.
Where'd you see it?
I think I got sacked then. I think I got sacked. I saw it on Twitter, so I think I got sacked. But
all right, very young guys.
Yeah, there's like a couple 16-year-olds
that don't get drafted. Right? It's usually guys from overseas, like the Dominican or Cuba, will get signed at age 16.
Okay.
They'll just spend like forever in the minor leagues, and eventually a lot of them do make it up. But well, not a lot of them. I don't know what the percentage is, but I think 16, maybe 15 is the youngest I've seen. Not 13.
All right. Yeah, that does seem all right.
15's a little.
I got sacked. I got sacked.
They got sacked big time. But yeah, the draft. I never pay attention to it. Like, it doesn't matter. The only thing I pay attention to prospect wise is I'll just like look up top 30 prospects on my team and get myself excited about them, and most of them never pan out, but that's what we do with every sport. The draft is like, it's not who watches the draft show. My dad does because he's a teacher and he has nothing to do but watch MLB Network. But like, other than teachers who love baseball, I don't know who's watching the MLB draft show. So I don't really get into that much.
Do you think, like, you know how there's there's super heavy draft guys on for the NFL and NBA and all on
Mm.
YouTube and stuff. And I've watched before pretty much all 7 rounds of the NFL draft. But
Yeah.
and I watched this year all the picks of the NBA draft. But do you think there's just like some guy like with a blog in his
Oh
basement,
yeah.
just like round 21, and he's like, "Oh, that was a steal of the draft." Like,
Yeah, it's probably some guy who thinks he's the next Moneyball.
all right, that's fair. Yeah, that
I'm
makes
sure there is. But the YouTube stuff, I don't know if there's anyone that does in-depth analysis that is able to like spend the time to do that and get views. I feel like the stuff that I usually see is like a 17-year-old phenom who hits 480 home runs gets drafted to this team. It's like, watch this guy crush the baseball, and it's like, oh, but he can't hit a curveball. But it's like it's such a crapshoot. I know like all drafts are crapshoots, but baseball you just have no idea.
Well, especially because you're not going to see any of these guys play in the pro for the next 5 years, so you have a long time.
I mean, they're like the college guys make it in a year or two.
Okay.
Experienced college guys. By that point, you're already like 24. High school guys can like Bryce made his debut at 19.
Damn.
And yeah, but he was also best prospect of our lifetime.
Oh, okay.
So that's not normal.
All right. Well, we already did too much on this draft that we said doesn't matter. All Star. Or where do you want to go next?
It's Paul Skeens and DJ Ugalegale.
Yeah, Ugalangale.
The All Star Game.
Looks like it sucked.
Mel finally won. Say that. It was like 10 years in the making. American League had won that many in a row. Which I don't know how that happens. But good for the National League. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, the All Star Game, I was saying this to my dad last night. It's kind of just, like, lost its lore a little bit. And I don't know why that is. I guess part of it's that, you used to play for home field advantage in the World Series, which is insane. That was a rule for as long as it was.
Yeah, that is insane.
So the game doesn't have any real meaning anymore. My dad was telling me that they used to care who won.
Yeah, because you
players and the fans would care.
Yeah, because that matters a lot.
It does matter.
Get Game 7 at home because you won the All Star Game.
That's right. It's, again, insane, and like it shouldn't be a rule. But it does take away from the game a little bit. And the uniforms are so bad.
Let me see some pictures.
You see them? It's so you used to just wear your team's uniform.
Yeah.
It's cool because like it's white and gray, so it's not like you're gonna get confused. And it's cool to see like everybody repping the team that they play for out there.
Yeah. I wish the NBA would go back to that too.
Right, yeah. It was cool.
Yeah,
and it's like
it's lame this year. I'm looking at it right now.
You see that? Look up the helmets. The helmets were almost the worst part. Like, we've seen this in the NBA. We've seen it in the Pro Bowl. I don't know what the issue is with the uniforms. Like, it's not that hard. Let them use their own uniform. So that, like, that already bothers me.
There's another thing. There's another aspect to this, too, where if it's gonna be, like, a standardized uniform, make it cool, make it sparkly. Like, this is supposed to be the All-Star Game. It's supposed to be a celebration of baseball. Don't make it just some lame run-of-the-mill jerseys. And I guess like they're Seattle colors, supposed to be Seattle themed.
But Seattle colors are like ugly.
Yeah, it's like turquoise and blue. It's pretty lame. Yeah, that's
so
bad.
I don't like. That really bothered me.
They also do not do a good job of advertising the MLB game. Like,
yeah.
And I guess that's a baseball problem in general, where there's just not good.
It's a huge problem.
Market, but it wasn't advertised at all, and it's like it's on what? It was on last night, right?
Today.
Oh, it's today.
Today's Wednesday.
I'm losing my mind. Yeah, it was yesterday. It was just on
Working.
a Tuesday night. Like what, your All Star game's on a
It's
Tuesday
always
night.
been like that, I think.
At least make it a
Said I can remember.
Friday.
I don't know why. But you could easily play Thursday and then have the weekend be the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Instead, you play through the weekend and then have it Monday through Thursday.
Yeah,
That doesn't make any sense.
that's lame as hell.
Um,
It looks like
yeah, the game
itself wasn't very good.
Like, I mean, I could be wrong about this, but I think it's usually pretty low scoring. Which makes sense because good pitching is generally going to beat good hitting. Look it up to see like past scores. The game itself is usually never that exciting. Just like seeing the All-Stars out there. The other thing makes it a little less exciting is you used to never see American League teams play National League teams, like in the regular season.
Yeah.
Whereas now they play every single team.
Oh, so it's less special.
It would be like, right, it would be like a big deal to see these guys facing each other because they would never get the chance to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's generally like fairly low scoring.
This is depressing for baseball. This is a depressing segment for baseball.
What's the All-Star game? Like, who cares that much?
That's the issue. People should...
like no one cares about the Pro Bowl, and the NFL's just fine.
Yeah, that's true. What's the what's the worst All-Star game? Because they've all become very bad.
I still think baseball is the best one because
At least they're playing baseball.
There's no incentive not to try.
Yeah.
Basketball, you're not going to play defense. Hockey, like, you're not going to hit each other. Football, obviously.
Football, you don't even tackle anymore.
Football.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I still think that baseball is the best All-Star game. I just don't like All-Star games in general. I think it would be cool to go to. I think the festivities are fun. You get some, like, funny clips out of it. The game itself is never exciting. I never watch like any of the All-Star games except for baseball, I think.
So, speaking of exciting, the supposed to be exciting part is the home run derby. How was it? How was it this year? What was going on? Who won? You know, was there any drama with
it? Vladdy won. Guerrero Jr., who I bet on.
Nice.
Giving that away on the Twitter. My bad, guys. Was a free winner. But yeah, I mean the home run derby is the home run derby. Like, it's always exciting to watch guys hit bombs. I will say that I like the old system more when you got 10 outs. An out was anything that wasn't a home run. Whereas now it's a timer. The reason they did it is because guys could just take pitches if there weren't good pitches. But the timer, the issue there is guys, especially the big guys like Vlad, get so tired. This is why I thought after the first round that there was no chance he was going to win, because he's a pretty hunky fella, and he's taken all these heavy dinger swings for 3 minutes straight, and he's got to go do it again like 30 minutes later, then again in the finals. It's just like a lot. It's a lot of swings, and don't get me wrong, I love seeing a lot of home runs at once. Like, it's fun. So
yeah, it's
I
by
won't
far
too much about the derby.
No, and it's by
awesome.
far it's exactly what people want to see in baseball. So it's by far
the
most interesting thing that can come out of this weekend. I do think
Julio Rodriguez on the Mariners was pretty cool. In the first round, hit 40 home runs.
Holy shit! It's not like a. I mean, I guess it's a home run's a home run, so it's just counting as many as you get.
Yeah, and you get a bonus 30 seconds if you hit 2 balls 440 feet.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So it's not like longest home run; it's just as many as you can get.
Yeah, basically.
All right, that's cool. I'm in. I should have watched it. I'm watching I'm looking at some highlights right now. It looks pretty fun. Looks
Yeah,
pretty
I mean, if you just look up like best home run derby home runs, it's pretty awesome. Adley Rutschman was good. He went on a tear at the end. He got his bonus, and he's a switch hitter, which I didn't even know.
What does
So
that mean?
he spent the first. It means he hits from left and from right.
Oh,
So he did his first 3 minutes as a lefty, and then his bonus time he hit from a righty, and he hit like every ball out. It was awesome. But then he got beat by Luis Robert.
that's
was
pretty
pretty
sick
cool.
though.
Your boy Mookie only hit 11 home runs.
Ooh.
Yeah. He's not a home run hitter. Apparently, he said like he didn't even want to do it. His wife like made him do it.
No,
so
he
that
doesn't
could
seem
say
like
he's
a.
done everything.
Yeah, he doesn't
He
seem like a
hit
big
like
home run.
25 home runs this year, but I was trying to explain this to my girlfriend the other night that his swing is just he's not like a pure power hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he's taking BP, he's not like used to just trying to go yard every time, and that's why he hits 300
Mm-hmm.
instead of 230 like Pete Alonso, who sucks. Pete Alonso, no one has ever taken anything so meaningless more seriously than Pete Alonso takes the home run derby. So strange. Last year he was like lifting weights beforehand. He's like sitting there like listening to music before he goes on, like eyes closed, like he's meditating. Dude, it's not the World Series. It's the home run derby.
Yeah, that's
It's
pretty
embarrassing.
ridiculous.
I would be embarrassed if I was on my team. But luckily it's not.
All right. Well, speaking of teams, what's the landscape looking like? What's going on?
Tampa's cooled off a little bit going into the break. I don't know if last time we were.
Oh, the Orioles are
they
right
were far and
there.
away the best. Orioles are right there. They're 2 games back for first place. So they have not cooled off. I think they had like a little cold start to the month. But yeah, they're like 20 games over 500. So things are looking great in Baltimore right now, which both love to see. I guess being from around there.
Yeah, and it hasn't. I mean, we say it every time we talk about the Orioles, but it hasn't been like that for years. So it's awesome.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. Gunnar Henderson's finally starting to come around. He was awful at the beginning of the season, and he's been hot. Obviously, Adley's an all-star. So, they're rolling. Like they look really good. I don't know how their pitching is going to hold up. I'm banking on them making the playoffs, but I don't know how their starting pitching. Their bullpen is solid, but I don't know how their starters are going to hold up in the playoffs.
When is the trade deadline?
It's a good question. First week of August?
Because for the first time in forever, the team, like, I mean, they kind of wanted it to be last year, but the Orioles should be buyers this year instead of sellers.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they should, starting pitcher is what they should be looking for. Desperately. I don't know how you fit, or how you're this good of a team when you have this little decent starting pitching.
Maybe they figured it out a new.
That's all for them. They figured it out, and they mash. They hit a lot. I guess that's how you just hit your way. That's the classic "the ball go boom" argument, which was last year when the Phillies signed Schwarber and Castellanos, and everybody's like, "Oh, they both suck at defense," and it's like, who cares about defense when you scored 10 runs a game? Like, it doesn't matter.
That's fair.
I'll go boom. But the Braves have kind of moving on. Do you have anything else about the?
No. Keep going.
Okay. Cut you off, but
No.
Braves have become the dominant in the league. They literally never lose. Doesn't make any sense. I feel like every time I check the standings almost every day, and it's like every time you go to the last 10 section, you're always either 8-2 or 9-1. It's not fair. Like, I don't get it. You don't lose. They had like 5 at the starters, the National League.
Yeah, but isn't this how it works with the Braves? Aren't they gonna blow some series they shouldn't have blown?
That's usually the Dodgers.
Okay.
But Braves did it last year against the Phillies, actually. The Braves also, fun fact, in the 90s and into the 2000s, I guess, they won 13 divisions in a row. They only won 1 World Series.
Holy shit.
So yes, that would be on brand for them.
to not succeed in the playoffs again. It is tough, like with a 5-game series, anything can happen, even a 7-game series. But yeah, staying in that division, the Marlins. Again, I don't know how this team is so good. They're 14 games over 500. Or the first wild card team, I think, in the National League. You know who Luis Arias is?
I'm looking at him
like
right now.
400. So, no one's hit 400 since Ed Williams, I think, in like the 40s. And
He's at 383 right now.
Yeah, and he's cooled off. Yeah, 1941 was the last Williams hit 406. I don't even like care about batting average anymore, which is why it's so crazy that it's happening this year. 383 is nuts. If you look up best batting averages, like no one's even within 50 points of him.
Yeah, that's an insane number.
He was the batting champ last year, and I think he hit 326.
Wow.
That was the best. So yeah, it's unbelievable.
Wow.
He was hanging around 400 for a long time. He's just cooled off recently, but it's something fun to keep an eye on. Can't even remember a guy like that recently who's been close to 400 at the All Star break. Guess that would be something to look up. The Mets imploded early on compared to when they usually implode. So that's been pretty fun to watch. They did win like 6 in a row going into the break. Or no, they lost 2 or 3 to the Padres. But they went on a little win streak, which got them to like 5 games under 500. So that just shows how bad things have been over there. So barring a miracle, they're buried.
What about your Phillies?
Have to bury the Mets. I'm getting there. All
right.
The Nats suck. I think the Phillies, not going to get like super optimistic.
They're back?
They figured something else or something out.
All right.
It's hard to say what led to the turnaround. Like all of a sudden they just started winning. It's eerily similar to last year when they started 22 and 29, I think it was. And then they're one of the best teams in baseball the rest of the year, and of course they go to the World Series. I don't know what their record was at their low point this year, but it was very close to that. And they turned it around. It's really been the pitching, like the starting pitching has been so much better. Or like early in the season, it was the worst part of the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember you talking about that in the preview.
Yeah, I think their team ERA has been like under 3 last month or so, which is insane. So yeah, I guess that would be the driver for success.
So
recently.
are you?
But they've been fun to watch.
And are they gonna be buyers? They're gonna try to get this momentum going.
They're always buyers.
Hey, that's better than always sellers. That is better than always sellers.
It's true. Yeah, I don't even know what I want. I guess they could use. If the Cardinals are gonna trade Goldschmidt, could use a first baseman. Guess you could always use bullpen help. They could use a 5th starter, but they're pretty set with their rotation. I guess just like a depth starting pitcher they could definitely use. And no, they're pretty good. They're pretty deep in the outfield. Maybe another outfielder. But yeah, I like where they're at right now. I think they're half a game out of that last wild card spot, but I'm not too worried about the Giants. I'm not worried about the Brewers. I think they'll catch the Marlins too. I think it's only a matter of time before the Marlins' success runs out. So I like
the
where
optimism.
they're at. I'll say that.
I like the optimism.
Without getting too crazy, like saying they're going to win the World Series. I like where they're at.
Speaking of World Series, your Guardians future?
Yeah. First place.
Yeah, in the world's worst division. First place in 500.
It's shocking how bad that division is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is another thing where, like, we talked about, or I mentioned the schedule earlier, how you play everybody now.
This would not happen in the previous schedule when you're playing your division mates that many times a year. Because
Yeah.
somebody would be
cleaning up on all this.
right,
bumness.
yeah. But now that they can't do that, they're getting exposed for not being good teams, and they're just getting beat. So I don't know when the last time somebody went to the All-Star break in first place with a 500 record was, but I don't know. The Guardians have been turned it around a little bit.
The interesting thing
So
about
they could make a run.
The interesting thing about them being 500 at the All-Star break is that this isn't football. There's not 17 of these games. There's 162 of them.
Oh yeah, it's a
So,
big sample. Like they played 90 games.
yeah. So like if they are like this, would it be like historic if they like win this like a game or two above 500?
If they win the division,
Yeah.
probably.
Like this has to be some historic stuff, the way that you're saying with the division mates, and now that you're playing everybody. So I want them to
real quick.
I want them to win the division a game under 500.
That would be pretty funny.
That would be sick.
It'd be like the NL East when the I guess it was a football team that year when they were 7-9.
Yeah, what happened? What, didn't Tampa Bay win it this year? 8-9.
Yeah, that's right. With 17 games, Seattle, the Beastquake.
Yep. Yeah, they were 7-9. There's it's happened before in other sports, but I doubt we've ever seen anything close to it in baseball. So
Oh no. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, 82-80, the 2005 Padres.
Okay, so 2 games
On the NL West, and they got swept in the first round. Although the 2006 Cardinals were 83-78 on the NL Central and won the World Series.
Oh,
I knew that team
Hey.
didn't win that many games. I would have guessed they won 86, not 83.
the jury's not done with the Guardians. I like to hear it.
Right.
It's
That's
still
what I'm.
out there.
Yeah.
Still out
See?
there.
Get that 83 number, and then you can draw the comparison.
What's up with the Texas Rangers?
It kind of came out of nowhere this year, but at the same time, like they've spent a lot of money in free agency, so they should be getting to the point where they're competitive. They kind of hit a little crash and burn going into the break. They lost 2 or 3 to the Nationals. They lost 3 to the Red Sox. They lost 3 or 4 to the Astros. So a rough finish there going into the second half, but when they got the Guardians coming out, oh my word, their schedule was horrible. Sorry, I got distracted. But yeah, they had if you watch the All Star game, they had a bunch of players there too, like Garcia, Seager, Jonah Heim were all All Stars, and deservedly so. They just mash.
They have a bad logo.
Really?
The
Like their
T,
logo.
I don't know.
I don't like their jerseys. Their old jerseys, I think, were cool.
I don't even know what their jerseys look like. Okay. Yeah, they're kind of lame. They look like high school jerseys.
Look
look
up
like-
2011 Rangers.
They look like Toon Squad jerseys. That's what they look like.
Yeah, I don't like it.
All right, let's check out this 2011 one.
They have Nathan Navaldi,
Oh,
who's
those are good. Those are good uniforms.
yeah, right. That team was awesome, by the way. 11 team. Josh Hamilton, Trey. Anyway, Nathan Navaldi's in the Cy Young race. He's been the anchor of their pitching staff, but it's the bat. They're another team that's just they just mash. That's how they win games.
Is that where baseball is headed towards? Seems like a lot of these good teams are mashers, or at least surprising teams. Is that something that's sustainable?
Well, that's right. That's what I was gonna say. Is not really.
Okay.
Pitching. It's like when you say defense wins championships. Pitching, at the end of the day, wins championships. That's not to say that a team can't be built on offense and still win the World Series, but you need a very good pitching staff at least to win a World Series. So that's if the Orioles were to somehow win the World Series this year, it would blow my mind. Unless all of their starting pitching just catches fire, or they just only let their guys go 3 innings and then they just every game's a bullpen game. Um, like the Braves do both. The Dodgers always have good pitching. The Diamondbacks have good pitching. Astros always have good pitching. Yankees have good pitching.
Well, all right. Dodgers, Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks for real?
Fun race. Yeah, I think so. I still think the Dodgers are going to win the division, and they've actually caught up to them now. The Diamondbacks have been leading the whole summer. But yeah, I think this Diamondbacks team is good. They're going to have the Rookie of the Year, Corbin Carroll, who's also an All-Star. They had the starter in the All Star Game, Zach Gallen, who's been awesome. Have a couple of good veteran players on the team. Christian Walker, he mashes. Riel. I think they're a solid team. I think they're probably like a year away from being a real threat to win anything. Now, like the Dodgers are the Dodgers. They're always great. So I'd be surprised if Arizona wins that division, but I would also be surprised if the Dodgers really pull away. I think it should be a good race.
What? Why are they?
Probably the best race. It's like Central's a good race. Neither team is all that good. The other Central is a good race, but both teams suck. Actually, there's a lot of close races now that I look at it.
So before we move on from the NL West, what's up with the Padres?
Good question. Nobody knows.
No one knows.
Well, they're like the Mets. It's like one of the highest payrolls in baseball, and not good.
No, and they got like
I
baseball
couldn't tell you why.
with like if me, a guy who doesn't watch baseball, had a gun to my head, and they were like, name 5 baseball players, I think I'd name 4 Padres. They have the names, so it shouldn't be as you said, one of the highest payrolls. That's ridiculous. That they are.
No, it doesn't make sense. I think them and the Mets are 1 and 2. Both of them are under 500.
And well under 500. Like not terribly under 500, but a good 6 and
oh yeah, they've been
4 games.
They've been a bad team so far.
Woof.
I don't know how to explain that. It is shocking.
All right, to wrap up the All-Star talk, what are some things that you're gonna keep an eye on for the rest of the season, and what are some teams that you're like? I mean, I guess there's a couple teams that like the Nationals, like you never kept an eye on, but like, what are some teams that are gonna could creep up come the end of the summer?
First of all, I love the race at the bottom. Royals and the Athletics sitting at 40
Athletics.
games under 500. I think that's pretty funny. See who eventually wins that battle of number 1 pick. Not that it matters that much, but 2 atrociously bad teams. I don't know. Like this is
the Moneyball teams.
This is historically bad.
The Moneyball teams, the 2 teams that played at the final game of Moneyball.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's hard not to be romantic about baseball.
Well, yeah, when you're 25 and 67, I'm sure you're not very romantic about it at all.
Who's the team that's gonna sneak up? I still believe in the Mariners, hanging around 500 right now. I don't know if that's like me just speaking it into existence because I like the Mariners, but just took 3 or 4 from the Astros and 2 or 3 from the Giants. And 2 or 3 from the Rays coming into the All-Star break. So, the momentum there. Just hosted the All-Star game in Seattle. Whatever that's worth. Maybe that sparked something. Because Julio Rodriguez was so awesome in the Derby. But they're a team who's, like, not too terribly far out of the playoff race. They could definitely make some noise and made the playoffs last year. The NL... I'm late to the party, but the Reds, I think we talked about this last time. The Reds were on their 10-game winning streak.
Yeah.
They're on fire. Like they've lost games, but they have not slowed down. They had a huge series against Milwaukee for the break. They're a game up on them right now for the division. They got another series with them in Cincinnati right after the All Star break. Should be fun. It's cool seeing good baseball in Cincinnati, but I bet on them to win the division at like plus 400 a couple weeks ago. So I'm feeling
a couple weeks ago.
That.
So that was some good value right there.
It was like during the win streak, and I was looking at the division. I was like, these teams aren't that good.
Yeah,
I thought the Cardinals were the best team in the division, and they're terrible. I still wouldn't count the Padres out. Like if they get on a run, they could sneak into the playoffs. It's because the National League, like the wild card, is not that good. Like you've got the Marlins, the Diamondbacks, and the Giants right now. None of those teams scare me that much. So there's definitely room for them to slip in, and if they do, they're always dangerous.
Yeah, that's the type of talk when we talk 5-game series, 7-game series. That's the team you don't want to see. That's the Lakers. Yeah. They're the Lakers sneaking in the play.
Yes.
That's exactly. I like that. I like that.
But like the rest of the NL seems pretty chalk. Like I'd be shocked if the Cubs went on a run or the Mets. I'd be shocked. Do expect the Phillies to make the playoffs.
Need it.
We give like a full playoff prediction just off the top of my head.
Yeah. Run it. Just run the names.
All right. Well, National League, I'll go division winners: Braves, Dodgers, Reds. Then wild card will go Diamondbacks, Padres, Phillies.
So you see the Marlins dropping out.
Crashing and burning, yeah. Which hopefully doesn't come back to bite me because the Marlins just always beat the Phillies, which is so frustrating. But yeah.
All right, what about
run differential is like not good. AL, this is tough. I'm not going to start in the East. I think the Astros come back and win that division.
Okay.
And the Rangers' recent struggles. I like the Rangers though. I just think the Astros are a powerhouse. Guardians obviously win the Central, of course. And then I will stick with Tampa to win that division. So with wild card, we'll go Rangers, Orioles, and man, that third spot is brutal. Yankees or the Blue Jays have to miss the playoffs. Yikes.
Hey, my Red Sox are right there.
They are right there, but they're not like
they're not gonna make it. They're just
going into the season.
And we'll just and math wise, like they're gonna be a good team, and just math wise, it's just not possible.
They're better than I thought they'd be. Well, screw them all. I'll go with the Mariners.
Sweet, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Mariners Guardians in the playoffs. Woof. Be a first round series too.
Bad for baseball.
That would be horrible for baseball. Instead of the Yankees and the Blue Jays, the Guardians and the Mariners.
Yeah, that would be bad. All right. Well, we have
a lot of baseball.
Yeah,
most baseball we've done ever.
Yeah, we got a ton. We'll check in periodically as we always do. I got to start figuring out what I'm talking about with that. So maybe I'll. And there's sports dying down.
I like the questions and just run with them.
Well, I appreciate it.
So I don't
mind. We have a top 5 to do. Our top 5 this week is gonna have to come with a little explanation, I guess. But if you get it right off the bat, congrats, you're a wise guy. We're doing top 5 hotel TV shows. You know, you just got back, you were out all day, either at the beach, you were checking out a city, you know, it's late, at least, it's late, you're not going out, you're not doing anything, you throw on the TV, some cable channel, and there's just some shows that always scratch what I'm itching. So This is what we're
What
breaking.
about as soon as you get there and you just want to take like 30?
Yeah, exactly.
Settle in.
Yep.
Like in the bed.
Yeah. You got to check out the room. Everyone's unpacking.
Oh, let's see what's on TV.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going number 1. I'm taking it.
Got it.
And it's no longer on air, which is a shame. I don't know if that still counts or not, but this is the show that I would watch in the hotel. It was Live PD.
Oh,
It's the greatest hotel show
I didn't even have that one.
of all time. It's just you just
It's
throw it
pretty good.
on, and you just watch these crazy people run away from the cops. That's basically the show. And sometimes there's not some interesting stuff going on. Sometimes there's some crazy stuff going on. But Live PD, I'll go back and watch it on YouTube. That's how much I love this show. It's like, I'll look up like highlights. And they do it by area, and I fucking love this show. It's just the best.
Did it get like taken off air because it was controversial, or did it just run its course?
I think it was controversial. I think it was 2020.
That's what I assumed.
There was a big anti-police thing, and I think that's when they pulled the plug on it.
Makes sense.
Only 4 seasons. Yeah, so 2016 to 2020.
Was this Live PD MTV? Like AMC, or not AMC?
A&E.
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 Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The record as guessing that before.
Before I said it, you did. You got it right on there. They did update it. It's now called On Patrol Live. I don't know if it's the same guys. It's on Peacock. It's called some network called Reels. So I don't know if it's the same thing or not, but absolutely loved good old classic Live PD.
That's a good pick. I never watched like a ton of Live PD, but every time it was on, or like,
were you in a hotel room?
Flip around.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, this works. And it's entertaining. Like, of course it's entertaining. Police chasing people.
Yeah, it's exactly. And that's kind of the goal of this list. It's just like, it's a show that you can throw on anytime. Doesn't matter what season. Doesn't matter. You're not paying attention to any story.
Right.
And Live PD is perfect. All right, what you got?
Okay. I feel like that sets the tone for the rest of the list.
Oh,
my pick is completely different.
All right.
Live PD, and this is one that's not even just hotel, like literally any time. It's been on at my house plenty of times, but it's also one where it fits the Office.
Okay.
Office is always on Comedy Central.
Yeah, this was
literally always.
This was tough for me to not pick Seinfeld, number 1, and because it's also always on TBS or whatever the hell it is, and it's always on, and it's a perfect hotel show. My thought was just, I like the pick, don't get me wrong, it's a great pick, but my thought was just like, that is something I'll go out and seek to watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't anymore though.
Okay, all right, so it works.
I haven't like pulled up The Office at least since it's been off Netflix. I think that's why I know it's on Comedy Central. It's like, oh yeah, The Office is on. Like, of course it's on.
Yeah, it's probably on.
Like, I haven't gone. Like, obviously, I've been able to go to Netflix and watch it, and maybe once or twice I've tried to on Peacock, and I like forgot my sign in. And I was like, screw it. Something else.
All right, well then you're
where it's like
good defense of the pick.
Me at least. It's like, you don't have to invest in it at all. You know all the jokes.
Yeah, you've already
it's
seen
funny,
the episode.
But like, you could also fall asleep to it if it's a long day. You come back to the hotel and it's like, oh yeah, The Office is on.
That's also a good one.
Exactly what I need.
Because it is your long day traveling, long day adventuring. Come back, a nice little comfort show is always on Comedy Central. I like it. You've turned me around on the pick. I'm all for it. All right, number 2. I have I don't you might have not heard of this, but it's called American Greed. Ever heard of it? I've only ever watched it on in a hotel. And it's on CNBC. It's normally like right after actually, I'm not going to say it cuz
Oh, yeah.
it's a
That's a good
sneaker.
one.
It's a sneaker pick.
Steal it. I don't
Yeah,
have it on
honestly.
mine. You're fine.
But it's normally right on after my next pick, and it's just it basically
Mad
it's like
would you be if I just took your pick?
I wouldn't be that mad. I already spoiled it. But the people would see if they listen, they would know. They'd be like, "Oh, that was his pick." The so it has this basically the premise of the show is that these people are scheming. Like, you ever seen Better Call Saul? It's
Should
basically
wait, no, I haven't. I've
well,
seen Breaking Bad, but
you know Saul and like how he's like a con man and he tries to steal money from people. These are just real life versions of Saul Goodman, where they find these schemes to have people give them money, and they just steal it, or they steal the money somehow. But it has a great narrator. It's one of those shows that it's 30 minutes, but it's 2 episodes. It's like SpongeBob back in the day, where it had the
really?
2 episodes. Yeah. So it's like 15 minutes, quick. You get to hear the whole story. You get to see the results most of the time, and it's a phenomenal show. If you're ever sitting in a hotel room bored,
yeah, next time I'm in a hotel, I will
look for it on the guide.
absolutely turn it on.
All right.
All right. I got a couple good ones here. Number 2 is going to be Shark Tank.
I'm gonna kill you.
My real number 2 is Bar Rescue.
Oh,
This
great,
one
great
I
pick.
imagine like a daytime show. I feel like it's always, I don't know about night, but it's always on during the day.
Yeah, Bar Rescue's a great
It's just
show.
like this. I can just picture so vividly in my head, like into the hotel, flipping through the channels, and it's like, oh, Bar Rescue's on. Let's see what John's up to.
John, he has a couple
It's a
shows,
great
right?
watch.
He has Bar Rescue, and then he has. I guess it is just Bar Rescue, but that is a great show, a great hotel
3
pick.
Investors.
Definitely like that. That was like when making the list. This was one of the shows I thought about, and like instantly.
It was like the first one that was just like the most, at least for me, like the one that I've seen the most, I think.
And it's another one where it's just like you throw it on, and even if you're halfway through the episode, you're like, all right, what's this guy? What's his deal? Oh, okay. All right, this is the bar. Oh, he's trying to, yeah. And it's perfect. Exactly the nonsense that'll take your mind off. And I guess, vacationing, but a nice show to
That's what it
to
needs
wind
to
down.
be. It just needs to be mindless.
Yeah.
It's not like you're trying to distract yourself from anything.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like,
all your.
like I'm dead. And
Yeah,
give
I
me
agree.
something I don't have to focus on. You just see the people look sad when they get yelled at, and it's so funny. I have another one that's right up that alley.
Coming up. All right, we're previewing too much.
Yeah, I know.
Well, number 3 pick, surprise, is Shark Tank for me. This, I'm breaking my own little rule that I told you about The Office, because I will seek out Shark Tank.
That was the
if I'm
thing that
bored.
I thought about this is like, I've watched Shark Tank too much at home.
Yeah, I fucking love Shark Tank. But if it's on at a hotel room, I'm not looking for any more show. If I find Shark Tank and it's on,
yeah,
that
this is the best we're gonna get.
yeah, and maybe it should have been. I guess Live PD would have taken the reign, but
that
and
Yeah,
American Greed.
American Greed.
But American Greed normally comes after Shark Tank, so it's normally like I get best of both worlds.
Perfect.
But it's just a great, like, again, and you could turn it on at any time during the show. You can figure out what's going on, and you just get to see these either ridiculous or really cool ideas. A lot of the time, I'm sitting there watching the idea, and I'm like, actually, that's pretty cool. Like, let's see if like that's able to be part. Like that seems pretty sick.
Point of the show.
Yeah, yeah, I guess, yeah. But the characters are so wonderful. Like I love all of the characters, all the sharks. They all have such distinct personalities. I don't not a fan when they bring on the guest shark. I don't care about no
like
guest shark.
A-Rod,
Yeah, it's like get this fucking
Kevin
shark
Hart.
outta here. Yeah, and it's always like they have the guest shark, and then they'll have like at least 2 of the products are like basically like the dream product for this guest shark. And it's yeah, I'm never the biggest fan when it's a guest shark, but absolutely love the sharks. I got a question. Are you team Barbara or are you team God, what's the other girl's name? Because they normally
Lori?
yeah, Lori, or because they
We
normally
have to choose
interswap.
one powerful woman.
No, they normally swap. Normally, like it's either one or the
Lori's
other.
too nice.
Lori is too nice. I'm a big...
I feel like Lori gives a lot of sympathy deals.
Oh, definitely.
She's like, yeah, like these guys don't really like it, but I guess I'll give you this. And it's like, come on.
Yeah, I agree.
Barbara.
My mom can't stand Barbara, but I love.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I love Barbara because she has the same. It's kind of almost the same energy as Mr. Wonderful, like, but she's nicer about it. She's not as upfront about it, but she is just as shrewd and just as like all the deals that you make, you're like, oh, that was a banging deal. Like, good job, Barbara. I'm always for it.
People leave and they're like, did I just get a good deal or did I get a good deal?
Exactly.
Like, am I getting ripped off?
Yeah.
That's every one of Mr. Wonderful's deals. It's like, did he just play me?
Well, Mr. Wonderful, he's the best because if you just let him get the perpetuity, like he's all in. Like, let me just get the perpetuity and I'm good.
Royalty?
Royalty, yeah, the royalty. All right.
Thanks for those royalties.
We could, dude. I feel like we could do a whole hour pod on Shark Tank.
We could do Shark Tank review would be good.
Oh, damn. Mark Cuban, what are you doing on this one? How are you gonna give this guy money? That would be great. It would suck though. Like,
sign Kyrie Irving to a 3-year deal, and you won't even give this guy a deal.
The best. I saw a great clip. It was like these guys made these air freshener logos, and they had one with NBA logos. And they gave Mark Cuban, because they're from San Francisco, a Golden State Warriors one. And before they even started talking, Mark was like, by the way, know your audience. I'm out. I'm out. And it's like, dude, Mark. And like everyone else was like, Mark, what are you doing? And he's like, what? They should know the audience. We just lost to this team in the conference finals. And you're going to give me the Warriors one? Like, oh. Big funny joke. And it's like, Mark, take a joke, man. Stop being such an asshole. That was a lame clip.
I like Mark.
I like Mark too. I think Mark gets a bad rap. But I thought that was the lamest thing I've seen.
It's funny.
I was like, come on.
You're telling me that you wouldn't get your feelings hurt if somebody did, like, I would be out in a heartbeat. Someone gave me like a Dallas Cowboys anything,
and then told you
I
to
wasn't
put
allowed to
money
like
in it?
smash. Yeah. Like, yeah, no thanks, buddy.
You have a good point. I definitely would have like bursted out into tears. All right.
Miami Heat.
Enough of Shark Tank. A Damian Lillard fucking air freshener. Have me lose my mind in Shark Tank.
Oh, man. Alright. I love the rest of my list. I have some bangers. Number 3, I don't know how it slipped this far. Family Feud.
Oh.
Talk about a mindless show
That's
that
a
you
great
just
one.
put on.
That's a great one.
You get to like play along, kinda. It's like, this is one that like everyone in the hotel room, like it might not be everyone, it might be you and parent or whatever, but you can play along. Harvey's funny. The people in the show are morons.
Yeah, no.
It all checks out.
Not one I could say I've delved in deep with, but every time I have watched it, I'm pretty sure it's been a hotel room. And great, you're right. Great call there. This could also double as like the Office TV. It's just anything that's on mid cable, basically. That's just middle of the day cable all the time. But yeah, great pick there. I didn't have any game shows, and I feel like I could have used some.
I think that was the only one.
Like even
Not a huge like Jeopardy fan.
No, I was
watch
never
it,
too into
so.
it either. But yeah, good pick. I like it.
Thanks.
All right, now I need to sort. I don't know what I want. All right, I gotta go this. Number 4, I'm going Triple D, diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Yeah, I almost threw that on last minute. Decided not to. Is it on Food Network?
Yeah, Food Network, which is now HBO Max.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know if Food Network came on at hotels. That's why I was concerned about it.
But no, it's all you always find a way. It's on somehow. This is another one where I've also seeked out and watched it, so it might be cheating. But
I don't think I have. This is one that I see at the dining hall.
Really?
I'm like, yeah. I don't know why, but I'll be like eating my food and I'm looking up. I'm like, what the hell am I eating right now?
I was gonna say that's a terrible show to watch at the dining hall. You're eating your slop and you're like, the fuck is this?
No, and I love the dining hall. I'm not a picky eater at all. Still, even me, I see it and I'm like, man, barbecue looks really good.
Everything on that show looks really good.
That's true.
Everything.
Even like the stuff that you don't like.
Oh, I know. It's like I would never order that in a million years, but it looks phenomenal. It looks phenomenal. And God, I want to watch it now. Like I want to watch it right now.
I don't, because I'll get hungry.
That's the issue. Is that it just gets you really hungry. But another just great. Throw it on any time. Oh, where's Guy at today? The best too is when
Guy's the best.
Yeah, Guy is the best. But the coolest is if you're in a hotel room and you're at a city and it's like, oh shit, he went to the city. Like here it is. Like, oh my God.
It's happened to you? That's never happened to me.
I don't think it's happened like directly, but like we've but
making stuff up now.
No, I'm saying like we've looked up where he's gone, where we are in the cities.
I see.
All right, so it's a little better than my make-believe story.
It's a little stretch.
Yeah, it was a little stretch. All right, let's just move on. Let's move on. What you got?
All right, I'm gonna reorder real quick then, because I will take your Triple D and I will raise you a Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, I've never seen it.
It's like, no.
No.
Remember what I was saying? It's funny when the people look sad when they get yelled at.
Yeah.
Or rescue. In Hell's Kitchen, they get abused.
It's Gordon Ramsay.
Like, it's hazing. It's horrible. Like, it's to the point where sometimes I even feel bad. The people. Then it's like, I don't have to take it.
No, they could leave whenever they want.
You just have to take a shit. Right.
Yeah. Is there is there a winner of Hell's Kitchen, or they all just get abused?
Yeah, and then they get their own restaurant.
Oh, okay. Word. That's high stakes. Holy shit.
Well, that's why they take the abuse, I guess. But some of them are just like complete losers. They pout when they get yelled at. Will just take it and move on.
So this isn't like there's no gimmick, right? It's just like built like make your best meal. It's not like you have a timer or whatever. Or I mean, I guess you do have a timer.
So you do, yeah. They split up into 2 teams, and they cook for the restaurant in like 2 separate kitchens. Like I guess they don't have a timer technically, but have Gordon Ramsay up their ass, which is so much worse than a timer. And then like declares a winner after each night, and then the losing team, he kicks somebody off the team.
Got it. So it's like Total Drama Island. Chefs.
Sure.
I know I made someone laugh. It might have not been you, but I know someone out there got a little chuckle from that one. Good pick then. I've never seen it. I gotta check it out next time I'm in a hotel though. Looks great. All right. Well, my next one. God, I gotta pick.
I'm gonna have one that misses the list, and I'm not gonna be happy about.
I'm going King of the Hill.
Okay, that's a good pick.
Going King of the Hill.
Okay.
I couldn't go to the extremes of like I had Family Guy on the list, and I was like, oh come on.
thought about Family Guy, didn't put it on.
It's cheating. It's cheating.
Yeah.
But
Also, it doesn't play with everyone.
yeah, that's true. The only time I will ever watch King of the Hill is if it's in a hotel room. And it's not because it's a bad show.
I've never put it on at home.
No, I've never put it on at home. But Bobby, Hank Hill, and everyone, like, it's just the theme song starts playing, and I'm sucked in immediately. I'm just ready to see what just stupid nonsense goes on. Talk about brainless. It's just, but so great. And yeah, that's my pick.
It's a good pick. I like that.
Thank you.
Oh, this is tough. I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna take the Twilight Zone.
Wow.
Seen it, the old school Twilight Zone.
That was left field came in.
One of the best. I mean,
I'm just shocked by the pick. I like the pick. I'm just did not see it coming.
Expect it. Twilight Zone's one that it'll just pop up on. I have seeked to watch the Twilight Zone plenty of times. But I will say, if I see it at a hotel, it goes on. Because I know so many of the episodes, and it's like, oh yeah, like this is a great one.
I didn't even know it was on, like, cable still. Huh.
There's a marathon every year on New Year's.
Really? Wow. Did you try the new one?
Yeah, I watched one of them.
Not good.
It's okay. It's nothing's the same.
Yeah, it won't.
They shouldn't rebrand it as the Twilight Zone. Black Mirror is the same idea, kind of, except more intense and disturbing.
Yeah, and it's done. I think it's not. I mean, I can't compare the two shows, but it's done better than like a remake of the Twilight Zone movie.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. The old school Twilight Zone is the best.
I'm for it. I never saw it in a hotel room, but I love the show. That's a good pick. And another one. This one though. Seems like, throw on mid-episode. Can you get into it mid-episode? Can you figure it out?
Depends on the episode, I'd say.
All right.
That's why there is kind of a caveat where if you've seen a lot of them, it's way better.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you haven't even seen it, if you've never seen the show, like, wouldn't even put it on in the first place. Like even if you haven't seen like Bar Rescue or Hell's Kitchen, probably something that you would reasonably just throw on and be like, oh yeah, I've heard of this. It's like the Twilight Zone, you'd be like, I don't even know what that is. So that's why it comes in at the end of the list.
Oh, you gotta know what it is. I feel like everyone knows what the Twilight.
I would think so, but it's so old.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know who we're dealing with. Our friends in Belgium might not know.
That's true. It's a good point, but they might not know any of these shows, so they might have some other shows to watch during the
Live PD.
All right, honorable mentions. What do you got?
Amazing World of Gumball.
Oh, I've seeked out to watch it too much. My roommate.
I haven't. That one's just on.
My roommate. Or I guess now. What is it? Former roommate? Ex-roommate? I don't know. A guy I used to live with. Shout out Will. He watched all of it, and every time like I would go out in the living room and like either cook something or like just came back from class or whatever, I would sit down and watch like 5 of them with him, and that show is so fucking funny. That show is so good. And it's
Dad
so
in Amazing World of
stupid.
Gumball is one of the funniest characters in any show ever.
It's so stupid. It's such
so
a
dumb.
stupid show. But some of those, like, if you're watching it, like, the worst is with, like, we were watching it, and then, like, a couple more people came over, and, like, they're not really paying attention to it, but, like, we're still watching it. We would just, like, start cracking up, and, like, people would be, like, looking at us. I'm like, dude, this is funny. Like, this is funny. You're tripping. Um, all time. That's a great pick. Great show. I on that honorable mentions, I had Teen Titans Go just cause
Okay, yeah.
always if I see that while I'm scrolling, I'll stop and I'll at least check out what's going on.
I feel like I should have more cartoons.
No, yeah, the cartoons was
I guess I watch too many cartoons. Like
it was a
I
thin
don't-
line. Like you couldn't put
Right.
SpongeBob up there. That's not a
Oh,
hotel
yeah.
show. But that being said, it could double and it's
Not like
like
the Smurfs or something.
nah, you're losing me there. I'll meet you halfway. I'll go the Jetsons. I'll throw on the
Jetsons,
Jetsons,
okay.
especially in the hotel. I'll throw on the Jetsons.
Yeah, all right. So you don't like the Smurfs?
No, I've never watched a Smurf. I was never interested. No, never
I
interested.
used to watch the Smurfs a little bit on Boomerang.
Yeah, I loved Boomerang.
Oh, Boomerang, you didn't like the Smurfs?
Yeah, I would always skip it. That and the Storks. Couldn't stand the Storks. I was like, what the hell are these little shits? Get the hell off my screen. Yeah, they had the big tube on their head. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. I thought that I did. I
It's
looked
like
up
they're like
Storks and-
underwater. Maybe they're not the Storks.
Oh yeah. Oh, what were they called? Yes.
They're not called Storks. That's the bird.
Up Boomerang.
Yeah, now that's gonna drive me crazy.
Yes. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I think I did used to watch this.
Tom and
Lot,
Jerry.
but
No, just because I'm looking up Boomerang. Tom and Jerry, great, great hotel show. Same with original
Yeah.
Looney Tunes. Oh,
Originally.
original Looney Tunes is fire.
Hey, where is it?
All right, where the hell is this show? There's the Jetsons. There's
Is
the
it not
Smurfs.
on?
Remember you ever watch Wacky Races?
No.
Oh, Wacky Races was great. That was another great show. Old Scooby Doo too. Now we're just naming
Oh.
cartoons. What are these two?
I gotta find this before episode ends. Oh, Yogi Bear. Scooby Doo on this list. How has it not? I don't know. I've gotten to the point where it's literally only Scooby Doo.
All right, I see a picture of them.
Shows like the Smurfs.
No, I think I got it. Snorks, not storks. They're snorks.
Snorks.
That show, I never watched it, but I remember seeing trailers for that 1,000 times. All right.
Oh, you
other
never even watched it?
No, I never even watched it. I didn't want to watch it. The stupid thing on their
I
head was
remember liking it.
disturbing. I was disturbed. All right. What about your other honorable mentions?
I had the joy of painting on there.
The what?
Not sure if every Bob Ross.
Oh, okay. Nah.
I don't know if
Never seen it.
what?
Never seen it.
Serious?
I'm serious.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty shocking.
Sorry.
I don't know.
All right, let's just move on from that one. All right.
Yeah, from that.
What else you got?
That's all I have.
All right.
I had Seinfeld on my list originally, but
I
I've
love
watched
that
it too
show.
many
Yeah.
times. Like,
I will watch that any day of the week, any time of the week. If someone wants to watch Seinfeld, let me know. All right, the only other honorable mention I had was The Big Bang Theory.
okay,
It's another, I feel like, solid sitcom.
that's like not one of my favorite sitcoms.
No, that's why it's a hotel one,
I'm starting to rethink my Office pick.
where it's we've done this before. Don't beat up your picks.
True.
Just
Yeah.
ride with it. That's why it's a good hotel pick, because I'll never go out to seek watching The Big Bang Theory. But if it's on and there's not really anything else I want to watch, I'll be like, yeah,
Yeah, why
sure.
not?
I'll watch some Leonard and some Sheldon. All right,
It's got to be another sitcom.
so I'm sure you could just like the cartoons.
Maybe like That
you could-
70s Show or something.
Yeah, we could name off like any
Yeah.
sitcoms that you barely watch. I'm sure New Girl's in that territory. I watched a little bit of it
I
on
like
Netflix.
New Girl though.
I
I've seeked out New Girl.
I watched it for a little bit, but I don't know. I found her too annoying. I liked all the other characters better.
New Girl.
Yeah, the New Girl. Yeah, all the other characters were so much better. But
I don't like Winston. He's annoying.
Winston? Oh, I
He's just
like
funnier.
Winston.
I don't know. He's just like, I don't find him that funny.
He's not as funny as the other two by far, but I do like
Yeah.
Winston.
I thought Coach was like the best, and then he's just not on it that much.
Who's the coach?
Remember, he's in the first episode, and then
Oh,
he like,
yeah,
comes
and then
back for a little
okay.
bit, but then he leaves again.
I don't think I got that far where he
He's
came
fine.
back.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
Well, we have somehow gotten an hour 50 minutes. I don't know how that happened.
Coffee.
It was the it was the coffee. Well, I mean, hey, only one pod a week, so that's
right. Yeah.
it's gonna be
Lot
packed.
to talk about.
Thank you all for listening. We'll see everyone next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Don't forget it. Set your calendars. Take off dinner that day, or eat before. Just don't go out.
During.
Yeah, it's dinner and a show. So we'll see everybody on Wednesday at 8. What are we gonna talk about? Who knows? But we might go 2 hours like we did today. So you got a whole week to prepare for us. Yeah, well, we're bringing tea takes are coming. But yeah, thank you all for listening.
Nice.
We'll see everyone